Crafty Crew, it's Megan the Crafty Quinn, and today I'm showing you 7 brand new ways to turn Dollar Tree's fall window clings into gorgeous decor you'll actually want to display. These DIYs are budget friendly, easy to make, and perfect for fall 2025. Let's jump in. So these are the window clings that we're going to be using in today's video. I thought it'd be best to show you what we'd be working with. And for the first DIY, you're going to need a window frame, picture frame. And this is one from Dollar Tree I've had from my crafting stash, but you might be able to find something similar on Amazon. And then I'm going to use a sheet protector as the backdrop for this frame. I got this from Office Depot, and you're just gonna wanna hold this down when you cut this because it will shift a little bit. But basically I'm just trying to get the paper as close to the size as I can, and then using a thin Sharpie to just cut around it, and well, trace around it. And like I said, just press down firm, otherwise it might shift on the plastic. So you can use any kind of plastic sheet that you want, but I particularly just wanted to use a page protector for this. I thought it'd be perfect, and I think it turned out pretty well. So I'm just cutting out the shape now. And it did take a little bit to get this because it's not the easiest material, but I'm just laying out my window clings to see how they're gonna look. So I kind of lay one down, put the frame on top of it, and then just make sure that they're getting into frame. And just making sure that they appear in a pretty way. So I have some leaves in there, a couple pumpkins. I was surprised at how many of these window clings I was actually able to fit in here. And I thought I was all done, but I feel like the space at the top just felt too empty, so I did go back and add another. So I used a regular Elmer's glue stick for this. I'm not going to use those crafting glue sticks that are repositionable anymore because they just don't have the adhesive that I like. So I just kind of glue down each one, make sure that they still look pretty in the frame. So I did this for each individual window cling. And there's the one I added at the top at the end. It definitely needed something. It was too blank or open of a space. And then I had my crafting buddy, Eddie, my cat, come and join me at some point. He was very interested to see what I had going on this week. So this is some antique wax and a makeup wipe. So I laid it down kind of behind it, and the window clings are sitting on top of the plastic as you can tell, but yeah, so I just had to flip it over and make sure they show with the color side on the front. And then I kind of glued down with my hot glue gun every major corner of this, and then I realized that was not enough, and I really did have to just truly glue along the entire edges of this frame. And it was a little bit too long, so I did have to cut off the excess. I do want to mention that. And then once it was secured on the back, then I could put on the final piece to this puzzle, Welcome Fall. And then we're all done. So this is probably my favorite of today's video. I feel like I always put my favorites at the front of the video, but I really do love this one. Oh, and my second favorite. So this is from that same window cling sheet. This one, I mean, this was such a gorgeous window cling. I'm like, I need to make this pretty somehow. I put this on all these other signs and tried to see if it would fit, and I ended up just having to cut this no matter what. So it was unfortunately what I had to do, but I really wanted to put it on this wood block, so I had to cut it down and make it look nice even while cutting it. And so it just took a little bit of back and forth with cutting and just seeing if it looked okay. And then I took some plaster Waverly chalk paint and used this for my Dollar Tree wood block. This is also something I've had in my crafting stash. Well, it's my updated crafting stash now, but I thought it would look good on this. I just felt like it needed a light background, and then we are going to update it a little bit more. So I did all the sides, and then once it was dry, we are going to take a glue stick and glue this down as well. In my original window clings video I did, I think a couple years ago, I'll link to it, I used Mod Podge for it, for every single thing, and this time I thought I would experiment with a glue stick. So then I took my chippy brush and did some antique wax on top of this, and I wanted to see how that would look because it just felt a little too plain. So I did go over the entire block with this. I really went over the pumpkin, and it's a bit too much right now, but I'm gonna tone that down a bit. But I just make sure I hit all of the spots I want to hit first. And then I just went right back over that because it's plastic and it was easy to just adjust. And that's how it turned out. I absolutely love this, and I think it's definitely my second favorite, I think, of the video. Oh wait, no, I spoke too soon. I like this one too. Okay, so this was such a cute sign. I hated taking this off, but I just really needed this for what I wanted to do with this next craft. So I took this pumpkin shaped wood cutout from Dollar Tree. I love these. I love these shapes. I'm not sure if they have them in stores this year. I really hope they do, but this is something they normally have every year. So I just took some cashew colored chalk paint from Waverly, and that is what I covered this pumpkin wood cutout with. So this is from another window cling set, a different sheet. And this one was all Thanksgiving themed ones, so this was a little bit difficult, but I thought it would fit over this color. I mean, the colors on those window clings were definitely difficult to work with, the purple and the yellow. It was so tricky to find a good background color for those. So then I took a lot of hot glue to make sure to secure this, because this wood block has a little bit of weight to it. Not much, but you definitely need to use a little bit more glue. And if you want this to be something for outside, I recommend a stronger adhesive, like maybe a Gorilla Glue, and then clear coat spray paint over this entire thing. The sign was a little bit messed up on the right, but you know, I'm just working with what I have. So then I took this fake wheat greenery, if you want to call it that, and I just kind of cut off a couple pieces. I thought it went well with what's already on the window cling. I don't know if it's a little too matchy-matchy, but I'm like, okay, looks like wheat. Let's put some wheat on it. So then I just hot glued those down. The pieces I cut were way too big at first, so I did trim them down a bit, and then I thought they were perfect and they wouldn't look over the top. So I just kind of layered on top of each other, and then, I mean, it looked okay, but I really didn't want the ends of this to show up much. So I took these paper leaf cutouts from Hobby Lobby and just kind of stacked them on top of each other to cover up the little ends of the wheat strands. So I just hot glued each little leaf down and then put a lighter one on top. I thought it was a nice contrast. And this one is all done. So I don't know, maybe maybe this one is my second favorite after all, but these, I mean, when you have so much fun making stuff, it's so hard to choose your favorite. So this one, oh my gosh, okay. So this is the only one that I will say was not easy, because I really had to take my finger sander here, and I used like the roughest sandpaper thing I had for this, and it was just, yeah. I had to keep going and just keep going, and then I was using some makeup wipes to kind of wipe off the excess there, and then it did pay off though, because after I finger sanded it for a while, I felt like it kind of looked like wood, like a gray barn wash. So then I went with a, not a white, but it's a plaster from Waverly, and I took a chippy brush and I thought maybe I could lighten this a bit more, and I needed to lighten this because of the window cling I wanted to use on this, and a dark background just would not work. So I just kept going with the plaster chalk paint until it was a light enough background. So I do kind of draw an X there just to get off any excess paint. It's the same technique I do with the antique waxing. And then if it looked too bright white, I did take a makeup wipe and just kind of go over it a bit. So yes, it's another purple and yellow and orange, and just trying to find a good background color was a little bit difficult. And I wanted it to look I wanted the piece to look unique as well, not just over, you know, a painted block. So once I had it in a good position, then I just used my glue stick again, just kind of line it up to the left-hand side and just place it down. Oh, I think I did that. I think I put this clip in here twice by accident, but basically exactly what I said. Just use your glue stick and just kind of go all around the sides. And then place it down once you're happy with the amount of glue you have on it. And surprisingly, the glue stick has held up pretty well with these. I think it's a pretty strong glue stick, so I was happy. And then I felt like it just needed one little finishing touch in the bottom right corner. Eddie agreed. He signed off and walked away. And there we go. Oh, I'm so sorry, it doesn't appear very well in the video, but I know it looks a little washed out, but it looks much better in person, I promise. I'll post it on my Instagram so you can see a better photo of it. So this, this window cling set, I thought it had such cute stuff, but I was having such a hard time coming up with ways to use this. So, and like the brown trim around these window clings was also kind of annoying. So I realized with this pumpkin pie one, I'm gonna have to cut all that off if I want this to look decent. So I did take the time to actually cut that trim off of this pumpkin pie window cling. And then for the difficult part at the top with the little ridges in the crust, I did use an X-Acto knife to get all of those pieces out. And I didn't want to show that because it was very tedious. So that one, you know, it's a small and easy craft, but it is a little bit tedious. So I used some Folk Art True Burgundy chalk paint for this. And this is a little roller from Hobby Lobby. These like miniature like bread rollers, or like, yeah, I'm like blanking on the word, but yeah, that is a set. They come in a set of 3 from Hobby Lobby. So once that was dried, I used my glue stick again and just put down the pumpkin pie window cling. And it has held up, it has stuck. I don't know if it's because, you know, the paint was still kind of curing. I feel like maybe the paint was kind of helping this be an adhesive a little bit. And then my pumpkin chalk paint from Waverly has dried out so much, I was like, oh, let me just add some water to this brush. And I thought maybe I was gonna like watercolor it a little bit. Well, it was a bit of a disaster. So yeah. I tried my best with this, and then I realized it was not working out, so I went back to just a normal brush with the watered down paint. I need to get a new paint. I really tried to make the most of what I had, but as you can tell here with this next one, the paint is very, very dried out. So I used an angled brush for this, and this little wooden frame, I found this at Michael's in their clearance bins near the registers. So they have stuff like this sometimes, and I always try to pick them up if I can find them because I like to make crafts with them. So this is the pumpkin color from Waverly as the backdrop, and then this was another window cling from that same set with the Thanksgiving window clings. So I decided to antique the sides. I decided that a little bit too late. I should have done this first, but I kind of decided last minute, let's antique this a little bit. I just wanted to add more color, more texture. So I just used a makeup wipe and my Waverly Antique Wax. And so this is why I wish I had done this first, because doing this on the inside, I got some wax on the paint. So I recommend doing this first and then painting, and you can cover it up that way. But I thought maybe these could be a matching set. So last but not least, this is DIY number 7. So I really wanted to use this teapot from the Sweater Weather window cling set. I thought it was cute. I kind of wanted to make this Dollar Tree beaded tray a kind of a tray for, like, I guess your teacups or something like that, and just kind of go with the theme here of these window clings. And I thought the brown made it kind of feel homey. And so there was a little teacup that goes with the teapot, and I used my Elmer's glue stick for all of these as well. And then I thought the socks were just, they all kind of fit together with, you know, warm and cozy. So I finally did use Mod Podge, but in this case to seal it, in case I do want to put some like hot cups on top of this tray. But I figured this was perfect for my coffee bar, just in time for fall. So this is just a little beaded tray that I found at Dollar Tree. And I found this over near the picture frame section and the little decor sign section that they have. So I did do just one thin coat of this, and then this was the final result. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you want to watch more videos, check them out here on the left. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos. And let's keep in touch on Instagram. Thank you guys so much. See you next time.